My beloved child, before this day ends, you must hear what I'm about to reveal, because your life is standing on the edge of a divine turning point. You felt it in your soul. The stirring, the silence, the longing. This is not your imagination. It is I, the Lord your God, calling you into a sacred shift. And the moment you hear this message may be the moment everything begins to change. But if you ignore this voice now, you may miss the very step I ordained to carry you into the season you've been praying for. So listen closely. Do not scroll. Do not turn away, because by the time this message ends, you will never see your life the same way again. But my dear child, if you listen more deeply, not with your ears, but with your heart, you will realize that I have never left your side. With every trembling step you've taken on that rugged path, I have walked silently behind you. I did not go ahead of you to shield you from every trial, because I know it is the very thorns beneath your feet that strengthen your stride. In pain, you learn empathy. In failure, you come to treasure success. And in the moments when you feel most abandoned, you learn to hear the stillness where my whisper finds you. You once asked, "Why me?" But I say to you, because you're stronger than you realize. Because you were not born to fall, but to rise, to shine, to become living proof that love and faith can conquer even the deepest despair. Just because you cannot see me does not mean I am absent. Like the sun warming the earth behind gray clouds, or the seed quietly sprouting in the dark soil, I remain beside you, not boasting, not demanding, but waiting for the moment when you need me to lift you up, dry your tears, and smile with you once more. I know you are weary. I know there are nights when you bury your face in your pillow, your heart breaking with no one noticing. But I also know that even in your pain, you did not give up. Every time you wiped away your tears and whispered, "Keep going," you were holding my hand, even if you didn't realize it. Every time you offered love to another while your own heart bled, the light within you burned so brightly it warmed others. And I was proud of you beyond words. Life is not always easy to understand. There are things you cannot explain. There are losses that seem beyond repair. But my child, believe this. Nothing happens without meaning. Every wound can become the place where light enters. Every fall is an opportunity to see yourself anew and learn to rise with steadier feet. And every step, however slow, however uncertain, is leading you toward me, where unconditional love always awaits. You thought I was silent. It is not that I did not answer, but that I longed for you to listen patiently. It is not that I did not see your tears, but that I kept them in my heart as precious gems. Every tear you shed, I have witnessed. Every sigh you breathed, I have felt. You are never alone, never have been, and never will be. There are times when life feels like a fragile bridge stretched across an abyss. Each trembling step is a battle with fear. But I say to you, do not be afraid. Even if you stray, even if you lose your way, I am still there. Arms open, patiently waiting. No mistake is too great to drive me away. No failure can disappoint me. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you for who you are, with all your scars, your flaws, your tender heart, and your longing to live a life of meaning. My beloved child, this journey is yours, but you are not walking it alone. I am the silent strength behind every effort, the gentle breeze soothing every wound, the faint but unwavering light guiding you through the night. I cannot promise you a smooth road, but I promise this: you will never walk without me. Lift your head high, my child. Trust that every challenge is a chance for you to grow more beautiful. Don't let the storm steal the faith within you, for after the rain, the rainbow appears. And I will always be the one showing you where the colors break through the sky. You are light, you are hope, you are the living proof that my love has never been in vain. I see in you a strength even you have not yet recognized. And I believe with all my being that one day, not far from now, you will see it too, and be proud of who you've become. My child, keep walking. No matter how cold or harsh the world may seem, remember this one thing. I am always here, with unchanging love, with open arms, and with a deep certainty that you are worthy of all that is good, because you are an irreplaceable part of my heart. And I never, not once, have abandoned you, my beloved child. There are days when your heart feels heavy, like a sky weighed down with gray clouds, when everything you hope for seems to turn its back on you. You feel lost in the tangled paths of life, burdened with questions that have no answers. Why has everything become so hard? Why do the doors you believed were yours slam shut before you? Why does each step feel like a struggle across the chasm of despair and pain? In those moments, you may feel utterly alone, as though the whole world has turned away and your heart drifts into a barren silence with no echo. But my child, I want you to pause for a moment and hear what I am quietly placing in your heart today. I have never, not ever, and will never leave you. Even when you cannot hear my voice, even when you do not feel my presence, I am still there, silent, patient, and full of love. Do you remember those moments when it felt like the world was crumbling beneath you? When your soul clenched with pain and your tears fell without a sound? In those very moments, I was right beside you. Though unseen, I wrapped my arms around your trembling soul. I wiped the tears from your cheeks, and I whispered into your heart, "Do not be afraid, I am here." But sometimes the pain is so loud that you cannot hear me, so heavy that you do not feel my sheltering warmth. That is all right, for I understand and I remain, waiting for the moment you turn and see that you were never alone. Every time you thought you had collapsed, every time you blamed yourself for not being strong enough, those were the times I carried you on my shoulders. You did not walk alone through the storm. You did not face the darkness by yourself. I was with you, guiding you through every rough stretch, step by step. I do not promise a life free of hardship, but I promise that my hand will always be wide enough to hold you whenever you grow weary. You once believed your faith was faltering, that you were too weak to continue. But my dear one, you did not know that in the very moment you thought you had surrendered, you were learning to trust in what cannot be seen. You were being taught to live not by sight, but by faith in the sacred love I have for you. Every challenge you endure is not an end, but a preparation, shaping you to be stronger, deeper, and more compassionate. I did not design your life to be filled only with sorrow, but neither could I shield you from every storm. For it is through the rain that you learn to cherish the sunshine. It is in the uncertain moments that you come to understand the power of a hand extended in love. You do not need to be the strongest, the best, or the most perfect. You only need to be yourself, the child I created with all my loving heart. My beloved child, if today you still feel lost, if your heart is filled with questions and uncertainty, then please cry if you need to. Speak to me. I listen to every sigh you breathe. I understand every crack within your soul. And I love you even when you find it impossible to love yourself. I do not wait for you to become perfect before I love you. I have loved you from the very first moment you felt you had nothing left to give. You may still walk through dark days, still stumble and feel pain. But please never believe you are alone in this battle. Even if the world turns its back on you, even if others walk away, I remain your place of return, a place that never closes its doors, never judges, only overflows with unending, eternal love. You are a precious creation, a light in a world that often feels too dark. Know that your presence is not an accident. You are here because I chose you, because I love you, and because I have a purpose for your life, a purpose far beyond what you can imagine. Do not let temporary suffering blind you to this truth. You are deeply, eternally, and unconditionally loved. So rise again, even if your legs tremble. Take the next step, even if the path is unclear. For I, who love you more than my own life, walk beside you. Every step, every second, every heartbeat. And in the quietest of moments, when all seems still, I am whispering, "My child, I am here, my precious one." I know there are nights when you wrestle silently with yourself, when you sit in the shadows of doubt, haunted by echoes from the past, whispers reminding you of your failures, your missteps, choices that made you feel unworthy of love, forgiveness, acceptance. I understand it all. I see not only the tears you try to hide, but also the unspoken thoughts, the quiet worries you dare not voice. And today I want you to know this with clarity, as radiant as dawn after the darkest night. You have always been priceless in my eyes. Do not let past mistakes become a distorted lens through which you misjudge yourself. Do not allow the voices of criticism, whether from others or from within, to drown out this sacred truth. You are my creation. I formed every detail in you with care, every emotion, every dream, every spark of light in your soul. Nothing about you is accidental. You are not a mistake, but the result of a love that is intentional, profound, and eternal. You've wondered, did I choose the wrong path? Am I not good enough? Is everything falling apart because of me? These questions may weigh heavily on your heart, but my child, I do not see you through the lens of your failures or faults. I see you through the eyes of mercy, through unending hope. I do not see a lost soul. I see a warrior learning to rise, learning to love themselves, even when the world has not. You do not have to prove yourself worthy of my love, because my love never required proof. It is not based on your right or wrong decisions, nor on your success or failure. My love is your foundation, not your reward. And that foundation will never be shaken, no matter how fierce the storm. I know you have felt not enough, not good enough, not strong enough, not holy enough. But let me say what I pray you will write on your heart. You are enough. Not because you are perfect, but because you were created in my perfect image. Within every person is the mark of the Creator, and that mark cannot be erased by any failure or mistake. Remember those moments when you forgave others even through pain. Recall when you offered gentle words and soft glances while your own heart was breaking. Those were not signs of weakness, but the strength I placed within you. A strength born of love, of compassion, of inner light. And it is in such moments that you reflect me most clearly. Not when you are flawless, but when you choose love and continue walking even as your wounds bleed. Never believe that I created you only to abandon you. There is no oversight in my loving plan. Wherever you are on your journey, however far you feel you've strayed, there is always a way home. Not to be judged, but to be embraced. Not to be questioned, but to be healed. Do you know this? Even when you doubt yourself, I do not doubt you. I still trust you, still see your worth, still believe in your power to rise from ashes. You are more precious than anything you can yet comprehend. Don't let anyone, not even yourself, convince you otherwise. You may not see it now. The pain may still linger, the wounds not yet healed. But I promise you, with every step, whether lost or slow, I am walking with you. When you can no longer find the words to pray, I am the gentle whisper in your heart. When you no longer believe in yourself, I am the faith that holds on to hope for you. And when the burdens of life weigh you down, I am the place where you can rest in peace. My beloved, do not let doubt or wounds dim the light within you. I have placed a flame inside you, and it will never go out as long as you dare to believe in love. Look in the mirror, and instead of seeing only flaws, see a soul learning to love, to live, to forgive. See yourself as I see you, beautiful, beloved, and utterly worthy of all good things. For I make no mistakes, And certainly I made no mistake in creating you with eternal love. I, the one who is always with you, my dearest child. The path you've walked, filled with twists, deep valleys, and steep hills, has never been a meaningless string of accidents. Every step has shaped the extraordinary person you are becoming. Every stumble followed by a rise, every silent tear swallowed, every decision made in confusion, all are brushstrokes in the masterpiece I am painting with your life. You are not a replica, not a misplaced puzzle piece in the crowd. You are unique, a sacred creation molded not only by time and trial, but by my very heart, filled with unconditional love. Your wounds, those moments you thought everything was lost, are the very places where beauty begins to bloom. I have used what seemed weakest in you to reveal strength, not a loud, boastful strength, but one that is quiet, enduring, and unbreakable. Perhaps you've asked, why me? Or why must I walk such a hard path? But my child, it is because I love you that I do not let you remain in the comfort zone where your heart never learns to grow. I do not want you to only know peace, forgetting the value of resilience. You must walk through darkness to see the brilliance of light. You must lose the old to make room for the new. Your journey, with all its seeming cracks, is not a mistake. It is part of an eternal design, a symphony for which I have written every note. Each heartbeat of yours rests within my providence. Nothing that happens to you escapes my sight. Closed doors are not punishments, they are protection. Blocked roads are not dead ends, they are redirections toward something greater. I know the plans I have for you, not plans of burden, but of hope. My plan does not promise ease, but it promises meaning. It may not shield you from tears, but it will sanctify every tear. Through them, you will learn endurance, trust, and above all, the unchanging love I have for you, my child. Believe in this plan, even when you cannot see the full picture. Even when all appears chaotic or lost, I am weaving a great tapestry, though sometimes you see only a fragment. Be brave and continue walking with your heart open and your faith nourished day by day. For I have never forgotten you. Every moment I work silently but powerfully for your eternal good. I see your future, not bound by your past or present, but guided by my loving hand. Even if you cannot yet see it, even if you're still surrounded by darkness, the light of hope burns steadily within you. I have planted within your heart a flame of hope that will never be extinguished, a flame of a unique calling I have designed for you. So, my beloved, do not let doubts overwhelm your mind. Do not let wounds blur your vision of what lies ahead. Hold fast to your faith, not because you understand everything, but because you know that I, who love you with eternal love, hold your destiny in my hand, and in my hand, nothing is meaningless. Walk forward with renewed courage. Let your heart open once more to embrace my plan, a plan that never gives up, never breaks its promise, and always leads to fullness of life. I will take you to places you've never dreamed, guide you through every storm, and when you look back, you will see how what once felt like misfortune became extraordinary grace. And you will understand with all your heart that you are not just a journey, you are a miracle. My beloved child, there is a sacred truth you need to know. Life does not always unfold the way you imagine. I understand you grew up in a world where people constantly speak of taking control of your destiny, shaping your own future, and carrying it all on your own. At times, you too have tried to control everything, every plan, every dream, every step, because you thought it was the only way to keep yourself safe. I do not blame you for that. On the contrary, I understand because you acted out of fear, out of a longing to be protected, out of the worry that if you weren't holding the wheel, everything would fall apart. But today, I invite you into something greater. Surrender, my child. Surrender does not mean you become weak or abandon responsibility. No, Surrender is not a hopeless resignation, nor is it a passive acceptance of life. True surrender is the most powerful act you can make, for it requires deep trust, a courageous heart willing to let go of control and embrace something far greater. Surrender is when you place every plan, every dream, even your pain and hopes, into my hands. Not because you've stopped caring, but because you trust that I care even more than you do. Perhaps you've drawn for yourself a path where everything makes sense, where there are no sudden turns, no pain. But I want to tell you this, I have a different path for you. It may not always be easy, but it is the best one, for it leads you to the very purpose I set for you before you were formed in your mother's womb. And only when you surrender, only when you release your grip on the wheel and let me guide you, will you truly step into my living, powerful will for your life. I know you have felt disappointed, perhaps because what you hoped for didn't happen, or it happened in ways you didn't expect. Perhaps you cried out for my intervention, but the heavens seemed silent. Perhaps you tried your hardest to keep everything together, yet found yourself drifting further from your anchor. And in those moments, you may have wondered, are you even listening? Do you truly care? I have heard every single one of those questions, and the answer is yes. Not only do I hear you, but I am also moving, quietly but surely. And to see that, to perceive the wondrous flow of my plan, you need to do just one thing: trust and surrender. When you place your plans in my hands, you're not losing anything, you're trading them for something better. I don't take away your dreams to make you suffer. I long to make them fuller, deeper, and more beautifully timed. I may refine them, even change them entirely, not to punish, but to protect you from what you cannot yet see. My child, surrender requires trust. And that trust isn't built on fleeting feelings, but on relationship. You're not surrendering to a distant force, not to a blind fate. You're surrendering to your Father, the one who intricately created you, the one who loves you beyond what words can express, and the one who has never made a mistake. I do not promise you a journey without tears, but I do promise that your tears will never be wasted. I do not promise a path without hardship, but I promise you will never walk it alone. And I certainly do not promise that everything will go according to your plan, but I do promise that all things will work together for your good. When you place your trust in me, true transformation in your life will not come when everything around you changes, but when your heart is renewed. A heart that learns to trust, that learns to let go of control, that learns to love itself and believe in its Creator. It is in surrender that you will experience a freedom you have never known before. A freedom that doesn't come from controlling everything, but from knowing there is one who holds everything. And that one is me. I am waiting for you, not to judge you, but to draw you close. I will not force your surrender, because love never forces. But I invite you with patience, with kindness, and with all the heart of a father. Step out of the endless cycle of worry. Lay your burdens at my feet. Allow me to step in and do what only I can do: heal, restore, guide, and transform. And then you will see, not everything turned out the way you planned, but everything became more beautiful than you ever dared to dream. With all my love, I, who will never leave your side, my beloved child, I know there have been seasons in your life that passed so slowly it felt as though time itself was testing your patience. You waited faithfully for a door to open, for an answer to come, for a glimmer of light at the end of a long shadowed road. At times you've wondered silently, have you forgotten me? But today I speak to you with all the tenderness of my love. I have not missed a single moment of your tear-riddled, hope-laced journey. Every whispered word, every quiet cry you uttered in the night, I have heard them all. Not one has been lost. You have prayed in silence. There have been days when you no longer had words to say to me, only tears. And those too were the most beautiful prayers. You thought you were merely waiting for a miracle, but in truth, the greatest miracle was how I have been slowly transforming your heart during what felt like uneventful years. I do not work in haste, for true love is never rushed. It is patient, steadfast, and full of purpose. I am teaching you how to walk not by sight, but by faith, a faith that endures even the storms of doubt. I see the silent battles you face. Others may not understand the war inside your soul, but I know. I see the weariness in your eyes, the worry in every breath you try to hide. I see the moments you smile on the outside but are breaking within. You may be skilled at hiding from the world, but you never need to hide from me. I do not demand perfect strength. I only ask for your honest heart, even if it trembles and bleeds. But my dear one, there is something important I want you to remember. The greatest transformation doesn't happen when you control everything, but when you choose to fall into my arms with complete trust. It is in the moments you release the need to understand everything, surrender your fear of failure, and lay all your worries at my feet. That's when my power begins to work most fully. You don't need to come to me in a perfect state. Come in the rawest truth of your weakness. Come when you're exhausted, when words no longer form in prayer. Just come. Simply be with me, and I will do the rest. Because I don't need you to strive to be loved. I only need you to believe that you already are. Loved enough that I will not abandon you in your present state, and loved enough that I will not let you remain forever bound in fear and doubt. Your faith, even as small as a mustard seed, is enough for me to do the miraculous. When you finally lay down the burdens you've carried for far too long, I will give you unshakable peace in return. When you surrender your fears not to fate, but to me, that is when you'll feel light again, as if the chains had never existed. And then what you have long waited for, change, breakthrough, new will come. Not like a whirlwind, but like gentle light piercing the night, quietly and miraculously dispelling the darkness. You may not realize it, but every moment you persist in trusting, you are laying a foundation that cannot be broken. It is not built from ease, but forged through tears, endurance, and my unchanging love. And when the time is right, my time, not yours, everything will change. Not because you tried hard enough, but because you trusted deeply enough. So do not stop hoping. Do not give up the dream I have planted in your heart. Do not walk away just because the door hasn't opened. I am still working, even in silence. I am still moving in the unseen. And what I have promised, I will fulfill. My beloved child, I have never been late, and I have never been absent. Trust in me, not only with your mind, but with your heart. For when you place yourself in my hands with unconditional faith, that is the very moment you will witness the most wondrous thing. I do not only change your circumstances, I transform you, and you will come to realize that the greatest miracle is not what you have been waiting for to arrive, but that you yourself are slowly becoming that very miracle. My precious one, sit down. Be still for a while. Amid all the chaos and the noise of life, I want you to take a deep moment to look back at the journey you've traveled, not to judge it, nor to stir up old wounds, but to begin seeing with eyes of grace, with a heart wide open and full of self-love. You have lived, endured, and stood strong through storms others may never even know about. There are wounds that have yet to heal, memories that still bring tears even after all these years. Yet in the midst of those days, I saw you grow. You learned to forgive, sometimes others, but perhaps most bravely, yourself. You learned to keep going even when your steps were weary. And I, your father, was there quietly watching, loving through it all. Now, I do not want you to revisit the past to blame or shame yourself. Instead, I invite you to illuminate your soul with the light of truth and hope. Look closely at each season you've walked through. There may be things you wish you had done differently, but there are also many things you did right, things that deserve your gratitude and respect. Let your eyes not linger only on the pain, but also see the times you loved, gave, and fought with courage. Do not fear reflection. This is not a journey of condemnation, but one of enlightenment. When you dare to look at yourself with honesty, humility, and love, you create space for change, for growth, for healing. The mirror is not meant to shame, but to show where you might polish, where you already shine, and where beauty is still being born. Above all, it is the way I guide you, gently, never forcefully, inviting you into a better version of yourself. I do not expect you to become perfect all at once. I know that parts of you are still messy, still unsure, but I also see a radiant beauty within you. Not a flawlessness, but a heart that feels deeply, rises bravely, and seeks goodness amid a broken world. You were created with sacred worth. Nothing can erase that truth. Take time to listen to the quiet voice within, the place where I keep whispering to you. You are precious. You are lovable. You have a purpose. Step away from the constant judgment of the world, where you are too easily defined by your mistakes or failures, and step into my gaze, a gaze that loves even your unfinished parts, because it is from there that I begin my greatest work. You might be surprised if I told you this, but your life carries a unique beauty. Even if you feel lost in the desert, flowers are blooming somewhere. Even if your journey feels cloaked in shadow, there is light breaking through the cracks. Never forget, sometimes it is in the very breaking that I create the most wondrous things. My creation, the world around you, bursts with a beauty no one can replicate, and so do you. You are part of that creation, not abandoned, not meaningless. Begin to see your life not only through memory, but through hope. Do not let the past imprison you. Let the present become the place where you are healed, renewed, and fully alive. Let each day be a new beginning, a chance to continue the journey, to keep learning, and to love yourself through my truth. My child, if today you feel weak, that's all right. Come to me just as you are, with your tangled heart, your empty hands, or your weary, doubting mind. I do not need you to be perfect in order to love you. I only ask that you be brave enough to be honest and willing to let me enter. Begin again and make all things new. And then you will see, within you lie treasures still asleep. There is resilience, there is compassion, there is wisdom, there is love you never knew you could give. And when these are awakened, they will illuminate not just your life, but the lives of those you touch. So, my beloved one, look back not to ache, but to recognize and honor who you are. I am walking with you every single step, and I will not stop until you become the most radiant version of yourself, the one I dreamed of from the very beginning. With all my love, I who have always believed in you and never left your side. My dear child, there are moments in the midst of your burdens and unmet longings when you may feel weighed down by the shadow of disappointment, by what has not yet come and dreams still unfinished. Your mind is caught in fears, unanswered questions, and wounds not yet healed. In that whirlwind, it's easy to believe that blessings are for others while you are left behind. But I want you to know this: blessings do not always appear the way you expect. Sometimes they come in the smallest, quietest forms. A sliver of sunlight through your window, a hand reaching out at just the right moment, or simply a fleeting sense of peace in your heart during the storm. Blessings are not always obvious miracles. Often, they are the result of a heart that chooses to see through gratitude. When you begin to view your life not only through what is missing, but through all that is already present, you will witness something miraculous. Your world begins to change. No, your circumstances might not shift. You're still waiting, still facing challenges, but your perspective transforms. And when your eyes change, everything around you begins to feel new. This is not denial or pretending everything is fine. It is a choice to see life through the light of hope instead of the darkness of fear. I never asked you to ignore your pain, but I invite you to trust that even within the pain, there are tiny rays of light, and if you open your heart to them, they will light up your soul. Transformation begins within your mind and heart. Don't wait for your situation to change before you decide to live positively. Let the change begin inside you. When you shift your focus away from what's lacking and toward what is already good, something mysterious happens. Your heart feels lighter, your steps steadier, and you begin to sense my presence more clearly than ever before. I know this is not always easy. Sometimes it feels like you are battling your own thoughts, between faith and doubt, between hope and despair. But my child, I am right there. In every moment you choose to look up instead of down, to believe instead of fear, to hope instead of give up. And in that very choice, my light begins to shine within you. It not only lights your path, but makes you a light for others, quiet but strong. You will never be able to control everything that happens out there, but you can always choose how you respond. And that choice, the decision to live with a heart full of hope and gratitude, is the key that unlocks the new things I have already prepared for you. Each day, you are given the chance to be renewed, not by your own strength, but by the quiet yet powerful transformation that begins deep within your soul. Start with the small things: a whispered thank you in the morning, a smile to yourself in the mirror, a moment to pause and feel the pulse of life flowing within you. These simple acts, when done with a sincere heart, will open great doors. For when you learn to find the light in what seems ordinary, that is when you are truly living in my love and guidance. My beloved child, trust that each new day is an invitation to live more deeply, to understand more fully, and to draw nearer to me. Do not fear changing your perspective, for in that very shift, you are stepping into a life that is richer, more radiant, and filled with my presence. And when you begin to see life through the eyes of hope, when you choose to believe in goodness even before you see it, you will come to understand a profound truth. Blessings are not something you must chase after. They are what you come to recognize when your heart is ready to see. I am still here waiting for you, not to scold you for the days you doubted, but to embrace you every time you return. With eyes wide open and a heart full of light, my precious child. In this world full of noise and distraction, I know there are days you feel lost in the dark. Maybe it's the unnamed fears that slip in when you wake in the middle of the night. Maybe it's the whispers of criticism, the doubtful glances, the memories of failure that lead you to ask, am I good enough? Am I worthy? Am I on the right path? And then little by little, doubt creeps in like a fog, dimming the light within you. But my child, hear me clearly now. I am the God of light. In me there is no darkness, no deception, no shadow of doubt. My light does not merely shine upon you. It pierces through your soul, healing what is broken, illuminating paths you never dared to walk, and warming the parts of you that have long been neglected or feared. This world will always try to make you doubt, not only me, but also your own worth. It will say you're not strong enough, that you've made too many mistakes, that you'll never be able to change anything. But child, that voice is not mine. Do not let the darkness of the world define you, for I have defined you long before the world ever knew your name. I called you forth in love. I placed within you life, meaning, and an eternal purpose. Let my light enter your soul. Let it dissolve every fear, every lie, every burden you've carried for too long. When you open your heart to that light, you will begin to see the world and yourself with new eyes. You will see that even in failure, hope is budding. Even in pain, beauty is being restored. And even in your weakest moments, You carry a strength I placed in you from the very beginning. I did not create you to live in fear. I did not design you to shrink back from adversity or bow before the voice of failure. No, I formed you to be courageous, to stand firm, to live with a spirit of power and love. The spirit I gave you is not one of confusion, panic, or surrender. It is a spirit of self-control, a spirit that can hold peace in the storm, that can choose forgiveness in the face of hurt, that can love even when you have not been loved as you deserve. You may not see this in yourself right now. Perhaps too many disappointments have clouded your vision, but I see it. I have always seen you as a warrior, not a warrior without wounds, but one who rises again even after many falls. And that, my child, is what makes you radiant in my eyes. You are mine. That is not merely a title. It is your essence, your identity, your foundation, and what belongs to me is not shaken by lies or darkness. Even when the world is loud and tries to drown out the call of life within you, I am still here whispering to your soul, do not be afraid. I am with you. I love you. My light in you will never go out. So my beloved, step out of the shadows. You do not need to understand everything. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be willing to return, to open your heart to the light, and I will do the rest. I will illuminate your path one step at a time. I will remind you that you are worthy of a full life filled with joy and hope. I will reveal to you a beauty no one else can carry, the unique beauty of your being, crafted in my image. You are the light, not because you strive to become it, but because I placed that light within you from the very beginning, and no darkness can extinguish it. My dearest child, there will be days when you feel as though you are standing alone, walking upstream against the current. People around you may choose the easier road, the one praised and accepted, even if it means compromising what is right. And in the depth of your soul, you know you cannot follow that path because you were made for something better, truer, and more noble. That is when I whisper to your heart, stand firm. Stand firm, not with harshness or pride, but with faithfulness and the deep conviction that righteousness is never the wrong choice. It may make you feel isolated, misunderstood, or even opposed. But know this, standing for what is right is one of the most beautiful things you can ever do. Because every time you choose truth over falsehood, love over hate, forgiveness over revenge, you are reflecting my light in a world that desperately needs it. The path of righteousness is not always lined with roses. Sometimes it is rocky, and every step tests your courage and endurance. But that path, my child, is the one that leads to life. Not just life in this world, but life in its fullness. Life rich with meaning. Life in my abiding presence. You do not need to see the entire journey. You only need to remember this. I am walking with you. Know there are moments when you feel weary. You have done what is right, yet the outcome has not met your hopes. You have loved deeply but received pain in return. You have chosen forgiveness, yet the hurt lingers. You have stayed upright in heart, yet the world still doubts and criticizes you. In those moments, you may ask yourself, is it worth it to live righteously? And I answer you without hesitation, it is. It is more than worth it, because each time you choose what is right, something in your soul becomes stronger, deeper. Each time you keep your conscience clear, you are planting seeds of peace. And one day, when those seeds bloom, you will enter a harvest of life, of joy, and of my nearness like never before. You are never alone in your choice. When you stand for truth, I stand with you. When you are weak, I am your strength. When you are rejected or pushed away, I am your refuge and restoration. I never leave you, not for a moment. Even when the world turns its back, I hold your hand. Even when people forget you, I remember every breath, every tear, every hidden longing in your heart. I have not called you to walk an easy path, but I have called you to walk the right one. And in each step you take, I am not merely beside you. I go before you, preparing the way, clearing the path, and laying out goodness ahead of you. What you surrender today, the approval of people, the comfort of compromise, can never compare to the eternal reward I have prepared for you. The deep peace within your soul, the closeness with me, and a future filled with hope. So my beloved, stand firm. Do not trade truth for temporary company. Do not lose my gentle whisper in your heart for the applause of the world. Do not let the fear of loss cause you to miss the true life I am calling you into. Keep walking even if it means walking alone. Keep choosing what is right even if no one stands with you. Keep living by the truth even if the cost seems high. For you never walk alone. I am the one who never leaves you, never forgets you, and never breaks a promise. And one day when you look back, you will see every faithful step you took led you closer to me, the one who loves you with an unshakable love. My precious child, there will be moments in life when you stand at crossroads where choosing me does not seem like the easy way. It is the narrow path, often lonely, sometimes silent and full of challenges. You will face opposing voices, skeptical glances, even rejection and misunderstanding. The world will whisper, it's safer to follow the crowd. Being different is dangerous. Faith is outdated. But I want you to remember this. Etch it deeply into your heart. You were not made to blend in. You were made to shine. Yes, you will have to go against the current. You may be the only one standing up for what is right. You may turn down what the world finds appealing. You may choose silence when others judge, forgiveness when others seek revenge, love when the world turns cold. And you will discover that living by my word is not merely a moral decision. It is the deepest, bravest offering of your heart to me. Do not be afraid when you feel alone, because truly you are not. I am with you. And even more, in the very moments when you dare to be different, when you dare to stand in truth, when you dare to reflect my light in the darkest places, you are becoming the answer for a world desperate for what is real. The world does not always know what it needs. It chases joy through illusions, comfort in noise, value in what fades. But in that very darkness, the light within you will reach wandering souls. You don't have to shout to prove anything. Just live honestly with me, and the light in you will shine on its own, warm and strong. And those who are seeking truth, even a flicker of it, will see that light. And through your life, they will come to see me. You cannot live your life for me and be applauded by everyone. Choosing obedience may cause you to be misunderstood, judged, and even rejected. But I make you this promise. Every sacrifice you make for me will never be wasted. Every step you take against the current, every moment you choose faith instead of compromise, every silent tear shed for choosing the path of integrity, I see them all. I remember and I bless them. When you live for me, you step into a plan far greater than what you can comprehend. A plan designed not only for your joy, but for the transformation of the world around you. You become part of something far beyond yourself, a divine tapestry of love, light, and truth that I am weaving into the darkness of this world. And I, your God, will never let you go without grace. My grace will lead you like the dawn breaking the night. My grace will surround you like a cool breeze in a dry desert. My grace will reveal itself through unexpected people, souls also searching for the light. And through your light, they will find their way home. I will cause you to be loved by those who recognize the true treasure within you, not for your status, not for your outward appearance, but because they see me reflected in you. And one more thing, my child. When you choose me over pleasing the world, you step into true freedom. No longer living to meet the expectations of others. No longer swayed by fleeting standards. You are free to be who you truly are. the one I have wonderfully and purposefully created. Walk forward with courage. Live as a steady light, not a flickering flame that fades with passing trends, but a steady light, kind, humble, and powerful from above. Don't allow the fear of rejection to stop you from doing what is right. Don't let the desire to be accepted pull you off the solid path. Let me be your foundation, your strength, and the loudest voice in your heart. For you are my child, called to shine, to bring hope, to live a life not according to the ways of darkness, but according to the ways of the kingdom of light. My beloved, how often has your heart grown weary from a cold glance, a careless word, or a remark that made you question your worth? I know. I see every time you rise to live rightly, to love deeply, yet are misunderstood, criticized, even dismissed. Words of judgment, even brief ones, can leave deep marks on the soul, causing you to wonder, am I enough? Am I on the wrong path? But today I want you to pause, breathe deeply, and hear me clearly. Do not let the voices of others define who you are. The people around you, even those who love you, only see the surface. They may observe your actions and hear your words, but only I see your heart. I see every stirring of your soul, every intention, even those you keep hidden. I see the battles you fight within, unseen by anyone else, the hardships you have silently overcome. I know the sacrifices you have made quietly. I see the times you chose what was right, even when no one stood with you. Remember, people may judge you in a moment. They may place labels on you that you never chose. But I, the one who formed you from the earth with eternal love, have never stopped, not even for a second, knowing exactly who you are in my eyes. And what I see is not failure, not someone who isn't enough, nor someone who must become someone else to be accepted. I see a precious child, chosen, called, and deeply loved. Do not let the noise outside drown out the sacred whisper I have placed inside your heart. My voice is gentle yet mighty, like the ocean. It does not rush or shout, but it is true. And the truth is this: you are enough, right here, right now. Not because you have done everything perfectly, but because you belong to me. Not because others approve, but because I have chosen you. And my choice is never a mistake. You do not need to prove your worth through perfection or by earning approval. Let my gaze be the mirror in which you see yourself. When others see flaws, I see growth. When they see you fall, I see you learning to rise. When they doubt you, I place my trust in you. So, my child, let my eyes guide your steps. Let my understanding and unconditional love be the foundation of your faith. Let your heart rest not in human praise or criticism, but in the unshakable truth that you are chosen and you are being led. When you know you are deeply and steadfastly loved, every other voice, no matter how loud, will gradually fade. And in that quiet space, you will hear my voice more clearly. You are mine. You are loved. You are more precious than gold. I do not see you through the world's lens, but through the unchanging eyes of love. Hold tightly to that truth in your heart. Let it comfort you when you are misunderstood. Let it be your guiding light when lost in the noise of public opinion. Let it be the place you return to whenever your heart grows weary, a place no one can reach to wound you because I am there. And if you are still doubting, still weighed down by unhealed words, come closer to me. Let me hold you in the silence, wipe away the tears no one sees, and remind you of the one truth that matters most. I know you. I love you. I will never leave you, my beloved child. When the world feels chaotic, when your steps seem unsure and your heart is flooded with unanswered questions, remember this. My word is an eternal light. It never dims or fades. No matter how dark the night, no matter how thick the fog, my word remains a lamp to your feet, a lighthouse that never misguides. There will be times when the path ahead seems hidden, when the future is swallowed by shadows. Dreams may feel distant, Plans may dissolve like mist. You will ask, how do I go on? And you may seek answers in others, in the world, in the loud voices around you, only to find more confusion or fear. In those moments, dear one, return to my word. In those breathed pages, you will find life. Not dry letters, but living words that touch your heart like a stream in the desert. Those words will remind you who you truly are, to whom you belong, and of the path I have prepared for you. A path that may not be easy, but will lead to life, peace, and hope. My word is not only light for today, but a promise for tomorrow. When uncertain, my word is your assurance. When weary, it is where you can rest. When you rejoice, it grounds you in humility. When hurting, it is balm for your soul. When empty, it is bread that nourishes your deepest being. I do not promise a life without storms, but I promise that in every storm, my word will be the oar that keeps you from being swept away. My words never return void. They accomplish what I intend and bear fruit in due time. My promises are more secure than the earth's foundations. While feelings, circumstances, people, even your own emotions may change, my word remains unchanging. With that word, I give you something priceless, eternal love. A love not swayed by behavior, time, or circumstance. I love you not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. That love is deeper than oceans, higher than the heavens, wider than anything you could imagine. You are never alone, dear one. Even if you feel lost in a desert, even if no one truly understands you, I am there, not hiding, not turning away. I am there in every breath, every tear, every silent prayer, always seeing, always listening, always leading you with kindness. Let my word be a refuge for your soul. Let every syllable root deeply and hold you steady in the storm. Let every promise remind you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, and that my ways, though higher than yours, are always good. When you don't know the next step, open my word. When lost, open my word. Whether in joy or sorrow, let my word be the loudest voice in your heart, louder than noise, doubt, or fear. Because, my beloved, I am the Lord your God who never changes, and my word will always be your compass through every season until the day you stand before me and hear me say, "You have finished the race. You have kept the faith. You are my beloved child, and I have always been with you, my precious one." I see the depths of your heart, where words fail and pain hides beneath calm. I know you are holding on, pressing forward with so much inside. Some burdens have become like flesh and bone, carried daily with no one noticing. But dear one, I have never forgotten. I have never turned away from your sorrow. On the contrary, I have walked beside you, waiting for you to place in my hands what you were never meant to carry alone. You were not created to live bent under invisible pain. These burdens are not your sentence or the end of hope. They are not meant to crush you, but to help you realize you cannot and need not carry them alone. I did not come to rebuke your tiredness, weakness, or falling. I came to say, beloved, let me carry it with you. Bring your sorrow to me. Every quiet tear, every unhealed wound, every sleepless night. Do not fear that they are too small, complicated, or broken. To me, nothing is beyond the reach of love. When you lay your sorrow at my feet, I will not leave it there. I will return to you deep joy, not fleeting, but rooted in peace, growing from faith and enduring every storm. Bring your cries to me, the choked sobs, unheard pleas. I will turn those cries into songs of praise, not because your situation suddenly changes, but because life begins to rise within you. I will place in your soul a new dance, not born of ease, but of true, deep healing. You can even bring me your ashes, broken dreams, unfinished plans, things once believed in but now in ruins. Do not be ashamed of what you've lost. Bring it all to me. Lay it in my hands, for I turn ashes into beauty. I will breathe life into what seemed dead and cause flowers to bloom where you saw only dry ground. Then you will witness the miracle. I will clothe you in garments of praise, no longer wearing shame, wounds, or bitterness. Instead, you'll be robed in gentleness, soaked in freedom, gratitude, and heaven's joy. Your heart will no longer be weighed down with sighs, but will sing a hymn of thanksgiving. Not because you have everything you once wanted, but because you have me, and I am enough. Dear one, I do not promise a life without sorrow, but I promise your sorrow will never be wasted. If you give it to me, I will use even those things to transform you into someone stronger, deeper, filled with greater love. What the enemy meant for harm, I will turn to blessing. And all you thought was lost, I will restore in wondrous ways. So come, sit with me a while. Lay your head upon my chest. Breathe out everything wearing you down. You don't need to pretend you are okay. I'm not asking for false strength. I only ask you be honest with yourself and trust I am big enough, kind enough to hold all of who you are, even the parts you find least lovable. And then, in that stillness, you will feel the most sacred of all things, my peace. Not peace from your surroundings, but one flowing from my unchanging love. Let me come in, not just to help you survive life, but to give you life in abundance. You are my beloved child, and I never grow weary of loving you. Today, right now, let me begin turning ashes into beauty, mourning into dancing, burdens into peace, and pain into a song of restoration. Because you are worthy of living in praise, not because you are perfect, but because you are mine, my beloved one. Quiet your heart for a moment so I can whisper this truth to you. I have a purpose reserved just for you, one not shaped by circumstances, limited by time, or hindered by your weaknesses. That purpose is far greater than you've imagined, because it comes from my heart, the one who formed you in love and calls you by a name no one else can claim. My child, maybe you've believed your life is small, that past failures erased any hope for a brighter future. Maybe you've looked at your limitations and felt disheartened, convinced there's nothing in you worth hoping for. But my dear, I do not see you as you see yourself. When I look at you, I don't just see who you are now. I see the potential I placed in you from the start. I see dreams you've never dared to dream, doors you've never knocked on, a future authored by my wisdom, saturated with my love, empowered by heaven's might. I have plans to bless you, not just so you live comfortably, but so you become a living testimony of my goodness and faithfulness. In every detail, your daily work, relationships, even silent desires, I am present, quietly weaving a tapestry far greater than your eyes can now behold. But to step into that plan, you must bring one thing: faith. Faith is not fleeting. It is a daily choice. A choice to believe I am faithful, even when nothing changes. To trust my timing, even when you wait in tears. To trust you don't need to understand everything, because I already do. You may ask, why hasn't the promise come? Why do I keep praying with no breakthrough? I say this, not to delay, but to deepen your faith. A faith not shaken by sight, but anchored in my word. I am never late, my child. I haven't forgotten a word you whispered. Every tear, every silent cry, I've gathered them all. But I bless not as you expect. I bless as is best for you, because I know which paths lead to life. You don't see the full picture yet. Trust me with all your heart. Not just the easy parts, but the hidden corners. Trust me when skies are clear and when storms roll in. Trust me when comfort comes and when correction is needed. Faith is the key to the blessing I've prepared, and that key is held tightly when gripped with your whole heart. You may walk through seasons you don't understand. You may hear silence from me, but don't mistake silence for absence. I am working quietly through what seems random, through delays perfectly timed. One day you'll see how every scattered piece fits flawlessly, forming a story of grace and wonder. My child, my plans for you are good and whole, No part of your life is wasted, no moment meaningless. Even if you strayed, were weak, or doubted me, I have not changed my design for you. I have not abandoned you. Never. I have not rewritten your destiny, because I don't need to. I only need you to return. So trust me, beloved. Keep walking, even if one small step at a time. Stay faithful, even if only in quiet prayers. Keep hoping, even if just a flicker in darkness, because I am working all things for your good. One day, you'll know it was worth it. My dearest, when you open your heart and choose to believe, not just with your head, but with your whole heart, that is true life. The salvation I offer is not a distant promise. It is a gift for now, for every breath. I didn't come for you to long for a future day to live fully. I came so you could live today, free, strong, full of meaning in my light. I am your Redeemer, saving you not only from death but from fear, chaos, and confusion. I am your shelter in storms, your refuge when the world feels vast and you feel small. When you grow tired carrying it all alone, remember, I am your strength. You don't have to keep going on your own power. I am here to sustain you with strength that never runs dry. Do not overlook this. When you live in reverent awe of me, placing me above all in your heart, loving, honoring, and obeying me, true wisdom blooms. Not worldly cunning, but clarity from my spirit. Discernment, revealing right paths. Stillness, showing what to hold and what to release. This reverent awe forms the strongest foundation for your life. It won't make you weak or timid. It makes you brave, because you walk with the Almighty. It keeps you from chasing illusions and hollow promises. It grants true freedom, the freedom to live honestly, choose with integrity, love purely, because you know the truth, and the truth sets you free. Let this wisdom guide your decisions, shape your actions, and illuminate your thoughts. Do not rush or follow the world's noise. Pause and listen for my voice, for I lead with kindness and love. Above all, walk each day with confidence, not from yourself, but knowing you belong to me. You don't need to become someone else to be accepted. You are already chosen, loved, and called by the most precious name, Child of the Most High. This confidence is quiet, steady, deep. It needs no proof. It is etched into your identity since you were formed. Living in that awareness, you will lift your head, not because you are flawless, but because you are covered in grace. You face the future not because you know everything, but because you know me, the one who holds the future. My beloved child, if today you feel uncertain or stand at a crossroads, remember, I am not only the one who saved you once, I walk with you every day. In every choice, step, quiet moment, or noisy hour, I am there. I will never leave you alone. So trust me, not just in words, but with your whole life. Let trust flow deep into your bones. Become the lifeblood in every part of your being. Then you will see. Salvation is not just a destination, it is a journey, with me by your side into eternity. My precious one, before you lies a path, sometimes bright with hope, sometimes shadowed by challenges. You may feel lacking, not strong, wise, or equipped enough. But today, pause so I can remind you, you are not empty. You do not walk empty-handed. You are never alone. I have prepared everything you need. Every step, trial, and mission I have seen in advance. Because I have seen, I have provided. Nothing you need have I withheld. No challenge exceeds what I have equipped you for. You are not weak or powerless. You are chosen, equipped, filled with my Holy Spirit. That Spirit, not a vague feeling, but living presence, dwells in you. He does not come to make you tremble, but to give you power, love, and self-discipline. This is not mere encouragement. It is sacred truth about your identity. You have power, not human strength, but heavenly authority. Power to rise above circumstances, silence lies, overcome barriers. Strength to stand when you fall, forgive when hurt, move forward when results are unseen. You have love, not just to hold, but to restore brokenness, heal seemingly lost relationships, and embrace hurting souls. That love is mighty, not fragile. A spring from me, always full within you. If you know me and live in me, you have self-discipline, a spirit trained not to follow whims, not swayed by temptation, fear, or anger. The ability to master yourself and live focused, disciplined, purposeful. I have not called you to live recklessly, but to live freely in truth. That freedom begins by choosing what is right each day by my Spirit's power. My child, do not measure your ability by past failures or others' opinions. Look to me, the one who formed you, knows you inside out, and placed within you every spiritual resource to fulfill your mission. Whenever you feel insufficient, come to me. When helpless, draw near. I never tire of giving when you know how to depend, ask, and trust. Believe this, beloved. I never call someone without providing for them. I never send anyone empty-handed. I am not a creator who abandons. I walk beside you. I equip, uphold, protect, pour out new strength daily. So do not fear the road ahead. Even if unfamiliar or greater than you think you can bear, keep walking. Do not stop because you cannot see the whole picture. I guide each step. Each holds blessing, lessons, transformation, and me. Lean on me. When relying on your own strength, you grow weary. But drawing from my strength brings lightness, peace in battle, and joy in uncertainty. The just shall live. Oxyan, I have called you and will finish what I began in you. You don't need to do it alone if you walk with me. Everything you need will come at the right time, in the right way by heaven's design. So lift your head, be brave, move forward, not with fear, but confidence that I am with you, providing all you need, never leaving you. My beloved, in the darkest days when your heart feels crushed, pause and carve this truth deep in your soul. With me, nothing is impossible. I know you struggle with mountains too high, doors shut tight, shattered dreams. I see you fighting storms that threaten to sweep you away. But in it all, I remain unchanging, unshakable, full of power. And I say again, nothing is beyond my reach. I created the vast sky and the depths of the sea. I hold every motion, the wind, rain, every heartbeat. If I can call light from darkness, rivers through deserts, life to dry bones, wouldn't I change your situation? Move the mountain before you? Do exceedingly beyond what you ask or imagine? But my child, the key is not your strength, but where your faith rests. If you rely on your own strength, you will soon exhaust. You were never meant to carry the world. You were made to trust, lean on me, live from my boundless power. I am never lacking in strength to help. The only question, will you let go of control and let me step in? I see your anxious heart trying to understand through limited view. But beloved, even the brightest mind is a grain of sand compared to my ocean of wisdom. What you cannot explain today, I am weaving into a good plan. What looks like a dead end, I see as a bend opening a new door. So do not trust your eyes. Don't be deceived by circumstances. Trust my wisdom. I see every part of your story from start to finish, every detail arranged by love. Above all, trust my love. It is not a love that shifts with emotion or your mistakes. My love is eternal, unchanging, never failing. You may fall, but I do not turn away. You may doubt, but I do not retreat. You may tire, but I never give up on you. That love brought me to your side on lonely nights, held you when all collapsed. Even now, it waits for you to open your heart so I may enter. Embrace your wounds, restore faded hopes, breathe new life into your heart. Lift your head, my beloved. Don't let fear choke your faith. Don't let circumstances make you forget who walks beside you. I am Creator and loving Father, Almighty and safest refuge. Eternal wisdom guiding your every step. You are not alone, helpless, or forgotten. You are part of my grand design, and I, the limitless one, hold your hand. What can stand against you? Walk forward, not by your strength, but by bold faith in me. Live not in fear, but with assurance that my love never fails. Now lift your prayer with all your heart. Let me teach you how to pray over your life. Almighty God, I come as a weary traveler, often lost, yet your light shines, gently reminding me I belong, not because I am perfect, but because you are perfect in love. Embrace my heart, cracked, marked by attempts to love and believe, moments of disappointment. I don't ask you to change my circumstances, only change me from within to see all with gratitude and faith. Teach me to live slowly, deeply, to see grace in small things, the sun, a sincere gaze. Help me keep loving when love is not returned, forgiving without apology, hoping when the future is unclear. I no longer want to live by the world's standards, but under your Spirit's guidance. Though weak, you are my strength. Though failing, you are my grace. Though tired, you are my refuge. I surrender all I know and don't know into your hands. May my life become an endless hymn of praise, rising to you daily. Almighty and merciful God, I feel small in this vast world, yet you see me amid the noise. I trust even my quietest whispers reach you, and that gives me strength. Grant courage to face myself, not for judgment but compassion. I open my heart, Lord. Touch and heal my hidden pain and conflict. I know you never promised a life without sorrow but your presence. Help me receive each day as a gift. Help me rejoice in small blessings, the bird song, soft breeze, a loving hand. Remind me I don't need to be great, only genuine, not flawless, only faithful. In that, I live rightly. May my life be a river flowing back to you, slow but faithful. Lord, I once feared loneliness, thought I couldn't go on alone, but you showed me solitude brings deepest encounters with you. When all else fades, your voice speaks most clearly. Help me cherish quiet spaces where I need not hide or strive, only rest in the Father's embrace. Teach me to trust your presence alone isn't to keep me standing, even if all crumbles. You know me better than I know myself, the wounds, dreams, anxieties. Come, Lord, warm my heart, not with words but your silent, powerful love. I do not ask to be understood by others, only to understand myself in your truth. I don't ask for a smooth road, only for tireless feet. I don't ask for all, only a heart that does not complain. If life is a journey, be the one who walks with me to the end. Loving God, I offer you the unnamed parts, the unfinished dreams, undecided choices, fears. I offer quiet exhaustion, sleepless nights, shadowy days. Touch my soul, not just to comfort but awaken faith, love, and calling from the start. Help me remember my life has meaning. Even when I feel small, you are doing something great through me. Help me trust the good yet to come, even if unseen. Use me not for the spotlight, but as one who quietly shows light. Let me live a life needing no applause, only your whisper. I am walking rightly. I choose grace. If I stray, Lord, please find me. Dear Father, thank you for days I understood nothing, yet you held my hand. For times I stumbled and fell, not for reproach, but gentle lift. For loving not only my strength, but also my weakness and brokenness. Thank you for moments I thought I strayed but was walking toward your heart. For no tear wasted, each bearing witness to a soul that loved truly, hurt deeply, lived honestly, and that is enough to be called beloved. Thank you for never abandoning me when I gave up on myself, for seeing me not through failures but mercy, for measuring me not by achievements but by potential planted within. Lord, thank you for each new morning, for ordinary days are miracles. Today, I only want to thank you for life, love, and quiet hope burning inside. Thank you for unchanging presence in a changing world, for those who crossed my path, leaving love traces, for things that didn't go my way, teaching what no sermon could. Thank you for steady presence when all else falls away, the unshakable foundation. Thank you for loving me based on relationship, not performance. Today, Almighty God, I bow in gratitude, not burden. Blessings I never spoke, graces that came like breeze but marked my heart. Thank you for every season, the vibrant spring, silent winters, for what I received and what you withheld. The doors unopened, relationships never begun. Now I see protection in disguise. Thank you for unanswered prayers, not my way, but the best way. My beloved child, this moment was not the end. It was the stirring of something eternal. If your spirit felt awakened, if your heart whispered, "This was for me," then return here often, because I am not finished speaking. Each message you hear will take you deeper. Each visit will water the seeds I've planted in you. So subscribe. Turn on notifications, not for content, but for continued conversation with me. Because when you return, I will meet you here again. And next time, I may speak even more clearly. Will you be ready to hear it? This isn't just a video, it's a holy invitation. And it's still unfolding. Amen.